Wow, 2026 has been a really good and arguably a stacked year for amazing anime shows. And Witch Hat Atelier just dropped two new episodes to start off the show, of course. And I can now say after watching this, it's incredible. It's fantastic. This show not only has like some of the biggest potential and story that it's saying itself for, but the fact that this is under Bug Film Studios, which is honestly a studio I haven't heard of in a really long time, considering that their last big anime show they came out with was 2023 Zom 100. And when that show came out initially, this show was like really good. It was a really cool spin, like the zombie horror genre, and it was so full of life, so full of character. It was charismatic. It was also one of the most iconic anime shows come out of that given year, and people were talking about it. And unfortunately, since the release of Zom 100, there really has. I feel like the hype for the show has really died out slowly, and a potential season two of the show never comes to fruition. But I'm at least happy to report that Bug Film Studios themselves weren't like put at the end of their ropes, because with Witch Hat Atelier on the other hand, this is proving to be like a really good and arguably a much better show than Zom 100 was. Not only is the animation for the show like super stellar, really gorgeous, but the art style in a way is like comparing it to like the to Freeman to a degree, or even this might be of a reach first and foremost, but I was getting like a little bit of like the first season of Promised Neverland vibes. So, in this show, with only two episodes out again, this is a show that focuses on our main character, Coco, who is a humble dressmaker's daughter, has always been fascinated by magic and the witches who cast it, and despite the strict precautions they take to hide their mess from the public, however, when Coco takes advantage of a golden chance to spy on a skilled witch, Queefree, she realizes that her favorite picture book was a disguised magic book all along. In her excitement, she immediately starts testing out the various spells, from fire spells to water spells to a light spell, and then she decides to pull the inevitable and decides to draw a one-to-one copy of a spell in the book, where a spell causing a huge disaster in her home, where at the last fucking second, Quifu is able to rescue her just in time and decides to train her instead of erasing her memories, because at the end of the day, normal human beings should not be allowed to learn magic. And this was like the building blocks of what was to come, to showcasing like how there's good magic out there, but there's also forbidden magic out there in this Witch Hat Atelier world itself. And in this, I really think they really set the stage of how the show sets itself up for it. Like it really just exceeds your expectations too, by the way, where you go into the show thinking that it's going to be like another slice of life anime show at first, and then immediately, boom, you're just hit with nuts and bolts fantasy, magic, and maybe a little bit like action in like the beginning sequence of the show, and you're just immediately hooked by it. And then towards the second episode of the show, we dive into like where now Coco's new home, where she's going to be studying and trained to become a witch so that she can save her mother after the spell that kickstarted this whole show. And in the same process, we get to see Queefree's like actual intentions being like somewhat like hinted at, or like, okay, Queefree clearly is like spying on Coco and making sure that she doesn't cause a ruckus, but he's also under another mission where he has to find out who was the person that gave Coco these books and distributing out like fucking chocolates, and essentially put a stop to it once and for all, because at the end of the day, these are ex witches that are trying to spread the word of getting people to do magic again. And if it were to be, essentially, if it were to be known that you can just become a witch by simply writing down on any piece of paper, it will cause the end of humanity, the end of the world, and all chaos will break loose as a result. And that's essentially like the synopsis and of what this show is all about in a nutshell. Now, look, with that being said, I do have my reservations with the show at the end of the day, given that there's only two episodes out right now, and it is like under Bug Film Studios, so I feel like the animation for the show is being held back a little bit. But I have no doubt that like as the series progresses further and further into the show, it's gonna be like nuts and bolts, like fireworks all the way through. So again, I love this show, man. The animation is incredible. The voice acting is incredible. The music for the show is really unique. I also love like the pop up book style with every episode that I got introduced so far. It's so cool. It's really creative. It really just showcases like, hey, you're actually just like reading an actual story that's unfolding rather than just, going on here, watching on your computer screen, just watching an anime, calling it there. It's really good. It's super creative, and I'm so curious, like, how this is gonna play out from this point forward. But right now, man, Witch Hat Atelier is starting off really strong out of the gate, and I'm liking it. I'm absolutely enjoying it. And just wanted to simply talk about my initial thoughts of the first two episodes of the show, essentially. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you on the next one. Later.